High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
From Southside High School and Rockville Center, the Long Island champions have arrived with a 14-game winning streak. The Seahawks of Carey taking on a Southside team that has some very high aspirations this year as well. It's two of the top three seeds. It's a Nassau Conference 3 showdown, and it's all live right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler alongside Franco Biancamano, and this is another fantastic Saturday afternoon showdown in the SEC of Nassau County football. Two of the top three preseason seeds, both off to a good start, both 2-0 on the season. Maybe round one of two. Round two could be at Hofstra, but it puts a little extra emphasis, at least for us and the fans, on this matchup.
Yeah, these are two great teams coming in, both undefeated, both starting the year great. I mean, Carey with DiPietro running the ball the way he is, Southside with their sophomore quarterback. I mean, these two teams are going to be great, and look for it to come down to the wire today, Dylan.
Well, you heard it from Franco, expecting a fantastic finish in the fourth quarter. First, Franco, we start with the Seahawks, right? 12-0 on the season. It's a team, 12-0 last year, perfect season. Another Long Island championship for that program, right? So they enter this year with a little bit of a different team. You know, yes, we'll talk about DiPietro. You had to deal with some injuries early, right? So right away, week one, you lose your starting quarterback in Mike Agostino. You lose a starting wide receiver in Mark Vera. So week two is critical just for the mindset, right, of the team. And the Seahawks, as a game we had on the Varsity Media Sports Network, answered the bell in a big way against Floral Park.
Yeah, and you said it right, Dylan. That's exactly what they did. They needed those young guys to step up, and that's exactly what they did in last week's matchup. And they did a good job. Yeah,
including there you see Tristan Hickes, his first high school start at quarterback, filling in for Agostino.
Yeah, Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I was going to say, but you mentioned before, right? Two guys we're going to lean on, or Carey will lean on today. These are our players to watch. Justin DiPietro, one of the best around. Running the football at middle linebacker, an absolute beast as a junior. And Christian Nanaya also brings a ton of energy as part of a really, really good linebacking core.
Yeah, I was down on the field earlier watching them warm up, and I just couldn't believe the size of these two guys. They look incredible, and they're going to show it today.
So those are your players to watch for the Seahawks of Carey. We look now at Southside, and this is a team also 2-0. We had their week one win over Clark. They followed up with a 45-21-20 win over Division. This is their first real test, though, of the season, and Phil Ernesto has detailed it. Last season, 3-7, coming off of a terrific county championship campaign. So now this is a group that wants to get back there. And they're very similar, as you see them coming out of their tunnel, to a Carey in that they've got some terrific athletes running the ball. We'll get to those impact players in a minute. But a quality start, but now it's a step up for Southside today.
Yeah, and this is where their challenge is going to come in this week. Now you start 2-0, and now you have your real matchup. You're going up against the Long Island champions from last season. So this is a big matchup for them, and this is going to be a big test if they want to get to where they want to be.
They will certainly lean on their running backs, but here are our players to watch. Brendan Vetter, one of the better receivers in the county, and Jaden Johnson, part of that great Johnson tandem with his younger brother, Ethan. If you want to stop Justin DiPietro, Jaden Johnson's a good guy to start with.
Yeah, he sure is, and you can take a look. He had 9 tackles for loss. And Brendan Vetter, when we called the first game week 1, I mean, he was all over the field making catches and making big plays, so he's another great guy to watch.
It is Carey, it is Southside. This Nassau Conference 3 showdown will start when we come back right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Back here at Southside High School, just about set to start. And you see the Carey head coach, 19th season for Mike Stanley, a 1995 graduate. Baldwin High School, an unbelievable record of 133-53. A terrific coaching staff along with them. Tommy Aiello is his DC. Mike Sellen has been with him for all 19 years. And what an addition Russ Sellen is, the former Freeport legend, working with the O-line and the D-line. For Southside, in his 15th season as head coach, is Phil Ernesto, Southside through and through. Part of that 2001 team that won a county championship. Keith Lessick, his DC, Andrew Kell, his OC, Steve Smaldone Jr., part of the coaching staff along with Connor Horrell, and of course the legend Walter Denton as well. So 2 longtime head coaches. Because of both schools kind of being right around that Conference 2, Conference 3 bubble, they have not seen each other for a while. We tried to look back in the record book, so first matchup in a long time, but it will be a fun one. We spoke with both head coaches, Franco. Let's take a look at the keys to this game.
Yeah, and let's take a look, Dylan. The keys for Carey is to slow down their running back tandem. Carey has to contain Southside, 2-headed rushing attack, and then win the turnover battle. Takeaway could flip momentum. Carey needs to win that at the start of the line and be very good on special teams. Special teams execution could be the difference in a tight game. For Southside, they need to win the battle up front. Southside has to control the trenches on both sides of the ball. Establish a run. A steady ground game will set the tone for the Cyclones and limit big plays and turnovers. They can't allow explosive plays and give the ball away, Dylan.
A beautiful early fall afternoon here in Rockville Center. You see the top left of your screen, 77 degrees, so it is a warm one. So we certainly hope there's been some hydration here for both of these teams. Our referee, you know it's a big one when Bob Miller is wearing the white hat. So it was Carey who won the toss. They deferred to the second half. We're about to go here, 2-2-0 teams. Should be a fun one here in Nassau Conference 3. We mentioned Carey, a 14-game winning streak. Well, they were in Conference 2 last year to do that. And again, it's all about, in Nassau County and in Suffolk County as well, in the publics, it's not, it's all about enrollment. So you're right at that line for both of these schools. And interestingly enough, they pass each other in the hallway these last couple of years, going between Conference 2 and Conference 3. But they are both in the same conference. A reason we call this the SEC, because of these two teams. You've got Wantagh, a team that was in Conference 4 last year that won a Long Island championship as well. Bethpage is always really difficult. Floral Park, Clark. So it's a reason why this is the deepest conference in Nassau County.
It is, and it's amazing how you said that they just keep passing each other. And now they finally met up with each other, and they're going to have to go head-to-head today.
Brendan Vetter is deep for Southside. Will Cooper to kick for Carey. Will Cooper, former soccer player, has done an excellent job kicking the ball off. He's got a good amount of touchbacks as well. This one, though, is returnable inside the 10. Trying to angle himself down this side. It's a short return. As we take a look now at the Southside quarterback, and we can officially say he is the one. Rob Cesario, a very talented sophomore, has won that job, and he'll look to lead his Cyclones this afternoon.
Yeah, he's come in and done a great job. 15 for 25, 217 yards. He came in as an A and B in the beginning of the year, but he has clearly won that job, and he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, strong arm, a lot of confidence as well in his arm. So 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. There is Cesario starting under center. Handoff on play number 1. As we take a look at the starting offense, that was A.J. Magarasi who had the run. The tandem that Mike Stanley is worried about is Magarasi and Ethan Johnson. You see the receivers, Vetter, McNulty. Great to see Jack Mullen back in at tight end. First game of the year for the Middlebury commit. Up front is Chalice, Fletcher, Lamparello, Healy, and Jaden Johnson. 2-yard gain on 1st down for Southside. Cesario rolls, throws, incomplete. Vetter was the intended target. Let's meet the Carey defense. Up front, 3-man front of Jamie Lamite and Castellar. Your linebackers, a really talented group with McGrath, Anaya, DiPietro, D'Amato, and Andrikopoulos. Your corners are Cooper and Martucci, and at free safety it is Tristan Hickes. So already with that incompletion and the short gain, Southside having to deal with a 3rd and 8. And Carey showing blitz. Cesario tries to duck under the pressure, does not get free of Sally Boy, Sal D'Amato. And what a week 2 he had on the Varsity Media Sports Network. How about 9 tackles, a sack, and an INT? Starts off the game with a sack there as well.
Yeah, let's take a look, Dylan. They did a great job shifting up front, confusing that Southside offense, and then making a great tackle for a loss.
So now the Cyclones go 3 and out. They've got to punt. It is Magarasi to do so. It is a short punt. It'll take a little bit of a Southside bounce before it is fielded at about the 44-yard line. Well, Mike Stanley thought he knew who his starting quarterback was to start the season. Mike Agostino, though, out indefinitely. So next man up, which is Tristan Hickes, and he's not too bad of a next man to have up. The Hofstra baseball commit. You see his numbers, hasn't had to throw the ball a lot. Also has 6 carries for 14 yards.
Yeah, you can see 4 for 5. He's a big guy. We were down in during pregame warmup, and he is a big guy, big baseball guy, 75 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And when you've got a new quarterback learning and getting maybe more out of the playbook each week, it's nice to have number 6 on your side. He does, though, fake the handoff, goes up the far sideline. That'll be a first down and more for big play Jaden Radow.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay. Again, throwing the ball right here, getting that ball out quick. And Jason Radow, who can stretch the field, does a nice job here getting a first down.
Yeah, that is Radow's specialty. And now is the handoff up the middle. And look at the physicality that DiPietro brings. Let's meet those starters offensively for Carey. Joining Hickes and DiPietro and Radow, you've got McGrath, Martucci. Great to have Giancarlo Carbone back in the mix. Up front, it's Anaya, Montante, Mantone, Klein, and Andrikoupolis. 2nd and 5. Another sidearm throw up the sideline. Again, it is Radow, and again, it is a first down for Carey. Hickes throwing the ball, looking like he's trying to turn a 6-4-3 double play, a little sidearm, whatever, it works.
Yeah, and they said, let's do it again. Let's throw that quick screen to the wide receiver, and he does a nice job right there. He can really make some big plays.
And there's DiPietro pushing himself forward. Let's meet the defense for Southside up front. A 4-man front of Shallis, Healy, Fletcher, and Kenny. Kenny had an excellent game last week. Your linebackers, Johnson, Boyens, and Johnson. At corners, Papadopoulos and Brendan Vetter. And your safeties, Magarasi and Vetter. This brings up a 2nd and 6 from the 11-yard line. Fake handoff, same play call, but different receiver this time. It's Dean Martucci. And he gets pulled down inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Dylan, it looks like they're exposing that right side of the defense over there for Southside. 3 straight plays to that way, and they're moving the ball.
So it sets up a manageable 3rd down for Carey. And here comes DiPietro trying to bounce it to the outside. What a terrific tackle. That is best on best. Magarasi, a huge tackle there.
Huge play right here, Dylan. Let's take a look at this. They're giving it to their big running back, DiPietro, and does an unbelievable job making that tackle.
Yeah, help came as well from Kieran Vetter. And the Seahawks, they'll go for it here on 4th down. DiPietro powers himself up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Carey. A 9-yard touchdown run for Justin DiPietro.
Yeah, let's take a look, Dylan. Look at this play. They said, let's go for it on 4th down. They take it right up the middle. DiPietro using that big strength and those big legs of his and getting in for a touchdown right behind those big offensive line and his center, Mantone.
McGrath is your holder. Don Peluso is your long snapper. Will Cooper. The kick is up and good, and an excellent start in both phases, right? Offense, defense, specials even, but it's the ideal start right now for Carey on the road.
Yeah, and you and I spoke about it earlier. They didn't let their defense stay on the field that long. So they got a little bit of a break, and they went right out there and marched down the field on offense and put it in.
For DiPietro, there's a good look at number 6. His 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And again, perfect way to get going for Carey. So now, can Southside respond?
Well, that's what they're going to need to do right now in response to that touchdown, because they took it right down the field pretty easily, Dylan.
So Cooper, after the PAT, he will kick this off. Deep, you've got Brendan Vetter. And it looks like Magarasi alongside him. Cooper, a lot of strength behind that one, and there is a touchback for Carey.
Yeah, that's
really the first bit of adversity for Southside this year, trailing 7-0 in this one to obviously a team, we said in the open, a better team than they've faced yet, or the best team they faced yet.
Yeah, and this was a challenge for them. This is if they want to play against the best, like you always say, the SEC of this conference, and they're really showing their skill set.
So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Handoff up the middle, and that's the way you want to start your second drive with number 7, Ethan Johnson, the sophomore, pushing it forward.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson gets in there to get the carry and starts to move this ball down the field behind Fletcher and Lamparello, and he does a nice job there gaining some yards.
Stanley said in our conversation with him, the Carey coach, there is concern for both Magarasi and Johnson. Both have shown the ability to break the big play. Under center now, Cesario, hands off. Nice shiftiness there by Magarasi. And looks like he will move the chains, gets just what he needed to gain that first down.
Yeah, Magarasi trying to get in there, trying to get that first down. Just gets pulled up. Let's look at the replay right there. Going right behind Lamparello. Makes a couple of moves right there and doesn't have enough. DiPietro does a nice job filling the hole, and so does number 16, McGrath.
That was really important to get that first down. You went 3 and out, you conceded a score, and now at least you could extend this drive. Cesario, play action. Nice sliding catch for the first down, Connor McNulty.
Yeah, that was a great call by Ernesto right there on 3rd down and 3, running out, sprinting out, and throwing that ball. Nice catch.
McNulty, his 3rd reception of the year, a guy who tried out for quarterback in preseason. Didn't win that, but the coaching staff was like, you're too good to not be on the field. How about wide receiver? And McNulty was like, yes, coach, I got you. Hand off to double deuce. Magarasi gets that hand forward and a really quality run near that first down marker. It should be about a 2nd and 1 now.
Yeah, let's take a look at him go right there. This is what they're trying to do. Magarasi's trying to establish that run game. Cyclones are trying to establish it, and they do a nice job there by moving the ball.
Love that stiff arm there on Dean Martucci as well by Magarasi. And actually, they say they will get the first down. So another first down, and Southside now in Carey territory. See Jack Mullen in there, 81, tight ends. We're going to run your way. The sweep, nothing doing, though, for Brendan Vetter.
Yeah, no room there. And number 57, Theo Andrikopoulos, does a great job right there stopping that run.
Andrikopoulos, the senior, came into this game, 12 tackles, a fumble recovery as well. A guy who really hit the weight room hard in the offseason, has good athletic feet. And that's a TFL for him. 2nd and 12 from the 48-yard line. Fake handoff, Cesario under pressure, good blocking. He's got to tuck it under, loses the football. DiPietro forced the fumble, but the recovery goes Southside's way as Colin Kenny fell on it.
Yeah, let's take a look. Here we go. Shotgun formation. He tries to throw the ball, gets too much pressure, tries to make something happen, the young quarterback. And look who's there, number 6, DiPietro, causing that fumble.
So it's a big loss, but certainly it could have been a worse situation for Southside. But now it's a little bit of an unmanageable or less than ideal 3rd down. 3rd and 21. They've got to get to the 36 of Carey here. And a flag on this play as pushing forward McNulty, but our referee, Bob Miller, this will likely push Southside back.
Yeah, and these are the things that Southside wants to stay away from, is those little mistakes right now, especially while they were driving downfield.
So Bob Miller conferring with Mike Stanley. Do you want to accept this penalty? Do you want to decline it? And he will accept said penalty and back up Southside even more.
Yeah, that's a big call right there. It looks like it was offsides on Southside, which pushes them back even further, Dylan.
So they are back to their own 36. 26 yards to get a first down. Hand off to Magarasi, finds a hole. He's taken down, though, at midfield. Certainly well short is Christian Anaya with the tackle for Carey. And now you play the game of field position if you are the Cyclones.
Yeah, Magarasi does a nice job. Carey goes into a prevent defense, and they just said, you know what, let's run the ball up and punt it away and try to pin them deep, Dylan.
So Magarasi will punt. And McGrath is deep. A good-looking punt by Magarasi right at McGrath. Perfect placement there for the punt returner, but not much of a return as he gets to the 30-yard line. So Carey the early lead in this one. 7-0, Justin DiPietro with the 9-yard touchdown run. And Southside, obviously the fumble and the penalty hampered what they wanted to do, but you could take positives from that first drive. You were able to move the football against this Carey D, but now can you get a stop? Hickes hands off. There is DiPietro. It's not the first contact, but then the hats to the ball, as you coaches always say, and good job gang tackling there by the Cyclones.
Yeah, they did a nice job here stopping DiPietro. Again, you were talking about it earlier. Southside established a really nice run, but they couldn't capitalize, and now Carey is doing a nice job and looking to capitalize on their possession.
So officially, we'll say that's the 2nd and 11 on the scoreboard. So a loss of 1 for DiPietro. That is rare. Joining him now, you've got the dual running backs. David Avila is next, or between Hickes. That's a nice duo to have. Nice security blankets if you are Hickes. You can go one way or the other. Instead, pump fakes, rolls out, looks for options. And that one incomplete. The closest to the football was the cornerback, Lucas Papadopoulos. So now you've got a 3rd and 11.
Yeah, 3rd and 11, and Carey is looking, keeps going to their right side, looking to expose that they see something in the Southside defense, but they did a nice job right there, not allowing them to get that first down.
Shallis checks back in for Ryan Healy for this play. 3rd and 11. The one thing that we do know about Carey, if Hickes does throw the ball, he's got a lot of options, a lot of really talented receivers part of this team. Instead, it's a draw, and DiPietro going nowhere. How about Jaden Johnson? Impact player versus impact player. Advantage, at least on that play, to Johnson.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. They give it to DiPietro, and Jaden Johnson breaks through that offensive line and makes an unbelievable tackle right there to force a 4th down.
So Cooper is deep. Excuse me, Cooper's punting. Vetter calls for it at the 35-yard line, evades the first tackler, tries to run towards that Carey sideline. There is a flag on the play, and a good return for Vetter. Let's see, Franco, what this flag will be.
Yeah, let's take a look. It was a good punt by Cooper, and Vetter almost saw an opening and tried to take it to the house.
So Bob Miller will confer with his fellow officials. Again, a veteran crew here this afternoon. He's joined by Elvin Brown, the umpire, line judge Steve DeLillo. Your linesman is Juan Williams, and your back judge, Lowell Cintron. And here is Bob Miller's call. It's a face mask against Carey. So after a quality run by Vetter, plus the face mask, and Southside will start this drive, their third of the game, inside Carey territory.
Yeah, and this is where they need to capitalize. This is where they need to establish a drive, go to their running game, and really, really move the ball and move the chains.
You can see it being counted off at the left hash there. So here we go, Southside's first drive here, final 34 seconds of the first quarter. They will be at the Carey 46-yard line.
So the Cyclones will start inside Seahawk territory.
Here's a handoff, Magarossi, first down and more. A.J. Magarossi, touchdown Southside, 46-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, Dylan, this is exactly what Southside needed. The big play by Magarossi, taking it to the house. Let's take a look at this replay behind Chalice, Fletcher, Lamparello, Healy, that big offensive line for Southside. He takes it and then does a great stiff arm there to put himself in position to score. And look at this run.
Will Hamill is your long snapper. Jack Boyens to hold. Lucas Papadopoulos, one of their better kickers in Nassau County, converts. And lo and behold, we are all tied up thanks to double deuce there. A.J. Magarossi, his 5th rushing touchdown. First play of that drive, 46 yards score. And it's exactly what Mike Stanley said. Let's beware of 22 making a big play. And the junior did just that.
He sure did, Dylan. And we talked about this at our first game. His football IQ is absolutely incredible. Let's take a look at this. Finds that open space, gliding through, and then right here, the big stiff arm on number 11, and takes it all the way in for the touchdown.
And that was Hickes who absorbed that stiff arm. But you could see, it's a point of contact, right? That line, the O-line for Southside, man, what a hole that they opened up for Magarossi. And once he gets to the second level, now he can do some special things.
Sure did.
So big response for Southside as they tie this one 7-7. Final 25 seconds of quarter number 1. Papadopoulos certainly has the ability to put this one into the end zone, which you would think that he would want to, right? You've got Radow deep for Carey along with Avila. And again, we mentioned before, right? Beware of Radow, a big threat. Avila, very good as well on special teams.
Yeah, big playmaker, Radow. If he gets that ball, you got to watch him.
Gotta love when the star running backs deliver in quarter number one. That's what is the case for both of these teams. As Papadopoulos, this one is returnable, and it is Radau who makes the catch at about the 7-yard line. Evades a few defenders. Radau now kicks it to the outside. And a quality tackle by Papadopoulos. We've said it before, not your regular kicker there. Obviously plays corner as well, but he had to make a big tackle there.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay. Radau, the playmaker, takes it middle wedge, right up the middle. And look at this agility that he's doing, finding the open holes, running down the field, and Papadopoulos, again, playing corner. That's a great touchdown saving tackle.
He had one in week one as well, a big tackle as well on specials. So Carey, in the final 14 seconds here, they've got the ball on Southside territory at the Cyclones' 44-yard line. Hickes has DiPietro to his left hip. Twin receivers at the top of your screen. Logan Alvizuris at the bottom of your screen. Here is DiPietro. Breaks away from that tackle some way. Spun it to the outside for a tough gain of 3.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson had him wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, and DiPietro finding a little bit of a loophole and getting out.
What a fun first quarter we had. It was Justin DiPietro to get the party started for the visitors, but homecoming here, AJ Magarasi makes sure that the big crowd here gets a jolt into them. 46-yard touchdown to tie this score. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Back here at Southside High School, start of quarter number 2. Fake handoff, that sidearm throw, and how about the tackle there by Vetter? He means business.
Yeah, what a nice play by Vetter. They're throwing that quick screen right to the wide receiver, and Vetter was ready for that one.
Well, Bob Miller, I thought for a second, the way that he was walking over, I did not see any laundry on the field. So that ends up being a loss of 1 for Carey. 3rd and 11 from the 45-yard line. Trips right for the Seahawks. Hickes rolls that way. Looks for options. And great job defensively by Southside, forcing Hickes, Franco to throw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, Hickes rolls out to his right, looking for that trip set that was lined up to the right, finds nothing, and Colin Kenny does a great job getting in there to slow him down.
So Cooper will be on the punt, as it would appear Carey will look to play the field position game. Patron and Vetter are deep for Southside. Cooper, good looking punt, will not be returned. Can Radau get to it? Ooh, takes a nice carry bounce there, doesn't it? That was like one of the shots off the tee by one of the Team Europe guys in the Ryder Cup right now, being played just a few miles up the road at Bethpage Black.
Yeah, Cooper does a nice job here pinning them deep. I think Southside would want that ball back by letting it bounce, but he does a nice job.
So Southside, they'll start at their own 6-yard line. Tied at 7 in this battle of 2-0 teams in Nassau Conference 3. First true test for both of these squads. Carey comes in as the preseason number 1. Southside preseason number 3. High snap, Cesario hands off. Coming this way, Magarasi, but getting him up by the shoulder pads. Good looking tackle by Matt Lamite.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay right here. They're trying to give it right back to Magarasi, but look at this. Look at Lamite getting right through and making that tackle, along with number 12, Charlie Jamie.
Yeah, that's your DN nose tackle, Lamite, just a sophomore. Really disruptive he is. Ends up being a loss of about 2. And the same situation there as Magarasi not getting anything on that run. This time you credit Kelvin Persuade.
Yeah, Kelvin Persuade did a nice job there. I mean, that linebacking core for Carey is incredible with DiPietro and Persaud, and they get right in there and take Magarasi down.
Now, Cesario, we know, is a strong arm quarterback, but this is ideal right now if you're Carey, right? You want to put Southside into a position to make a sophomore quarterback feel uncomfortable. That's part of the call that we had with Mike Stanley, where he said that. Let's see what we could do and put some pressure on Cesario.
Yeah, and I think they haven't been in a situation like this season yet. So this is a test right now for Southside.
And it is such a test that the Cyclones will call a timeout to talk things over here. We take a look at Southside's last 3 seasons. You go back 2 years, or 3 years ago, I should say, right? Knocking on the door. They make it to the semifinals in that 5-5 season. Then what a terrific year they had in 2023, winning their 3rd Nassau County title, beating Floral Park in a nail-biter, 17-14. So you come off a championship season, you're feeling good about yourself, and then 3-7, not the year you want. Now, eventually, you do get back to Hofstra, which is always the goal, but it wasn't that direct route off of a really strong regular season. It was a big second half of the season for Southside last year.
Yeah, and we thought we spoke about this earlier. It was a rebuilding year for them, and they still got to where they wanted to do. Just took a couple of different routes.
And conversely, we take a look at Carey, their last 3 seasons. Yeah. It speaks to the excellence that Mike Stanley has in his program. Last year, again, 12-0. You win the LIC by beating Hills East in a barn burner, 37-36, after beating Mepham in the Conference 2 Championship, 12-0 season. You winning your 3rd LIC, your 6th county championship. And again, they were right there the previous couple of years, losing, of course, to the juggernaut that is Garden City. So then when Garden City moved to Conference 3, it opened up the door for Carey in Conference 2. Now Garden City back in 2, Carey in 3. So they also pass each other in the halls.
Yeah, a lot of shifting, but a lot of great football history at Carey.
Let's see what they have drawn up here off of that timeout. They will motion Tyler Corton. Cesario, look out from his own end zone. And that is a safety. And bringing it, Christian Anaya, our defensive player to watch for Carey.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. He just needs a little time to throw. The young quarterback, before he gets it off, Anaya gets out there, that big linebacker core. Incredible tackle and a safety.
And you can see it there on that one hesitation by Cesario. That's all Anaya needed. So 2 big points there to separate the score. And Christian Anaya has been so impressive. The thing that Mike Stanley says, the Piner Award, which goes to the best linebacker in Nassau County, is an award that is voted on via highlights. So you watch the huddle films, and so much of what Anaya does pops on film because he's getting in the backfield and he's bringing the energy and he's getting TFLs, and here gets a big safety.
Yeah, and he's creating a highlight reel, and he stands out like that, and he really did a great job there. Again, a safety, but we also have to credit Will Cooper for that punting the ball and getting it inside that 5-yard line. That's what set this safety up for them.
And for Anaya, his 6th sack already on the season. And a lot of times when you see, you're next to a Justin DiPietro, you're like, well, you're gonna eat off of the attention to DiPietro's way. But honestly, he's bringing it on his own, right? Already now, if you're Ernesto and your staff and you're looking at the film, you knew who 56 was coming into this one. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and also the magnitude of this game, too, is also bringing out that better athlete in him, looking to make that highlight reel that we spoke about. He's doing a great job.
So it's that rare free kick here. Papadopoulos to do it. Radau and Avila are deep for Carey, just inside their own 30-yard line. Papadopoulos, it is Radau from the 30. Had a big return on his last run, and look at Radau again. Rinse and repeat for Carey. It's got to be Papadopoulos to make the tackle at the Southside 30.
Let's take a look at this. Again, Radau, what a playmaker. Takes it right up the middle, through that line, and Papadopoulos again with the tackle. I'm telling you, if I was Papadopoulos, I wouldn't kick it to Radau anymore.
Radau, the LIU lacrosse commit, junior. Tremendous quickness, the explosiveness, right? Doesn't have that big frame at 5'10", 145. But, man, he's got that ability to blow by you. And how about this for the turn of momentum for Carey? You get the safety, and now the return by Radau gives you 1st and 10 from the Southside 30-yard line. The pitch and the fumble. And Southside, it would appear that they've got the football. And the officials, I think they're saying this was a forward pass. So they're calling that a fumble, Franco. I'm sorry, they're calling that an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it's a forward pass. You can see it from the replay. He kind of pitched it forward, making it look like a pass. That's a good call on the official, Dylan.
It is. Hickes, pump fakes. Tons of time for Hickes. Goes sideline, and that is incomplete. I'll tell you, the boys up front getting the job done, giving Hickes all kinds of time to find a target.
Yeah, and Ryan Healy.
Yeah, well, those are the boys, right? Anaya, Montante, Mantone, Klein, and Andrew Kupelis. A really solid 5 offensive linemen there. Obviously, Anaya, we just saw, had the safety, goes both ways. Montante is that undersized old lineman who brings the grit. Mantone has come such a long way from the preseason. Klein also has made a lot of progress, and Andrew Kupelis, that strong weight room kid. Same is true of DiPietro, but I'll tell you, man, Southside has made it a point to not get beat by number 6 in white and orange.
They sure did, and Colin Kenny does a nice job stepping up and making that tackle. They're really trying to focus in on DiPietro and not making him break some big plays.
Yeah, Colin Kenny had a huge game last week against the Vision, and he was your starting tight end as well, where when Mullen was trying to recover and come back, you've got to think this is a huge advantage. He'll still play a little bit of tight ends, But if you can now have him just on the defensive side, that's a huge advantage for Southside.
Sure. Giving him a little bit of rest, especially in a humidity game like this.
So 4 down territory here, even though Cooper does have a good leg. 4th and 11. Hickes surveys the scene and looks towards the end zone. That's a jump ball. Knocked down, incomplete. Kieran Vetter makes the play.
Yeah, and you can see right there the flag on the play right there was holding on number 74 Healy.
And you got to imagine this will be declined, and certainly will be. As you see the play again, you see Vetter, part of a double team, knocks it down. So now Southside, you weather that storm a little bit, right? And now you've got the football. And if you are Ernesto, I'm sure you're telling your guys, let's move the ball. Just do what we've done and continue to move the football.
Yeah, and it's only a 2-point difference. So Ernesto's telling his guys, calm down. Let's run the ball. Let's establish what we know, how to do it, and get back into this game.
Nice turnout here from the Southside students to our right. As it is a 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Inside handoff. And that is Ethan Johnson. So important, I think, for Southside to get him established here this afternoon, because you know we've already seen what Magarasi will bring, but if you can get Johnson going, that special sophomore, now you're cooking with gas.
Yeah, he's a special player, and being a sophomore, being that young, he's really established himself as a running back here for Southside.
A gain of 5 on 1st down, 2nd and 5 from the 37-yard line. Vetter in motion. Here comes Magarasi. But that's a nice tackle from behind. It looked like it was Jamie, number 12, to make the tackle.
Yeah, Southside is trying to establish themselves with the run game, and Jalen Fletcher right there kind of let his guy go by a little bit, and he was able to come back and make that tackle.
Well, here's Ryan Solomon. So not the QB1, but Ernesto showing faith in Solomon to get him involved here as well. So Solomon has a little bit of a tush push. Will they get enough to get it across? It was Johnson with the run. They will be shy of the 1st down. Or will they not? They'll move it. I thought they were shy at first glance, but they do push forward for the 1st down.
Yeah, you can take a look at the formation. Southside comes out with a heavy formation, double tight wishbone, and then the tush push at the end, getting them that 1st down.
And you like to see Solomon involved there, right? 14 comes in as a blocker. You see them there trying to pull Johnson forward. So big 1st down for Southside at their own 42-yard line. McNulty in motion. Handoff, Magarasi tries to barrel himself forward, but ran right into big Christian Castellar. Senior, part of a bit of a rotation there at ends, but 73 making a big tackle there.
Yeah, Castellar does a great job here, shedding his block and coming up and making that tackle.
Already 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses on the season for Castellar. Second and 7 for Southside. You got twin receivers at the top and bottom of your screen. And Carey showing bringing the pain and delivering the pain as well. How about Matt Lamite?
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay right now. Out of a shotgun, giving it to Magarasi, and they are through that line faster than the ball was even snapped. That was an incredible play by Lamite.
yards on the play.
So a big loss there. Lamite had a big week 1, the sophomore, with 5 tackles and a sack. Really disruptive. Very, very good against the run as well, that nose tackle. So a 3rd and 13 now for Southside from their own 38-yard line. Magarasi to Cesario's right hip. Back to pass over the middle, interception! And there is Hickes. Tristan Hickes up that far sideline. Hickes, a big return on the interception for Carey.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay. Here he is out of a shotgun, gets a little bit of time, throws it right up the middle. And Trickus is right there and does a great job after the play, bringing it all the way down into the red zone.
No time to celebrate for Tristan Hickes. He's back in as the Carey QB now. Big play defensively from Hickes. And as you said, Carey, they have been the beneficiary of some terrific field positioning. First, there was a couple of big returns by Jaden Radow. This time, the interception by Hickes. So they've got a 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. DiPietro, the lone back.
Yeah, and number 11, Trickus is split out here.
Yeah, they'll go Wildcat with DiPietro. Tries to push forward. That was a good tackle at the feet by Jaden Johnson. We have seen this set last week by Carey where they will go Wildcat with DiPietro. Let's see if Hickes now goes back in at QB. It looks like he will, off that 1-yard gain. Turning, getting to the end zone. Touchdown, James McGrath on that jet sweep. 12-yard touchdown run for Carey.
Yeah, Dylan, you called it on that jet sweep. They put Radow split out to the right, out of a shotgun. Here we go, comes in motion and takes it and finds the open hole. He does a really nice job right here. McGrath in for the touchdown, and it's a big momentum swing right now for Carey.
So Carey will look to extend this lead now. Will Cooper. McGrath will hold. And you see Peluso, the third, is your long snapper. That kick is up, and it is good. So Carey extending their lead, 16-7 over Southside. 2:31 left here in the first half. We'll take a break. We'll bring you the final 2:31 of this first half when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Back here in Rockville Center, it is Carey off of that James McGrath touchdown run. They've extended their lead now 16-7 in this battle of undefeated teams in Nassau Conference 3. Dylan Butler alongside Franco Biancamano. And Franco, this is an important final 2:44 for Southside.
It sure is. They want to go into the locker room not being down 2 scores right now, and they really need to establish their run game and try to get some points on the board before half, because Carey does get the ball back at halftime.
So at the worst, if you are Southside, don't allow Carey's offense another opportunity in this first half. At the best, you could maybe pull within 2 points.
Yeah.
So here is Cooper to kick off. Johnson gets it at the 10-yard line, cuts it up the middle. A little shimmy, a little shake, and Johnson pulled down at the 38-yard line. Quality return for Ethan Johnson.
Yeah, good starting field position right now for them.
So 2 timeouts remaining for Southside. And now you go into essentially your 2-minute offense with 2:34 left here in the first half.
Yeah, and what I think Ernesto probably did on the sideline was to calm his young quarterback down. Say, hey, listen, take a deep breath, and let's start getting back into rhythm like I know you can.
You see McNulty and Brendan Vetter at the bottom of your screen. Now Vetter goes the other way. It is Magarasi, tries to go right up the gut of that stout Carey defense. That's a couple of yards on first down. That Carey defense, they've not really been pressured too much, right? Only giving up 6.5 points per game through the first 2 weeks. A shutout against Valley Stream South, 35-0, and then that 27-13 win over Floral Park in week 2.
Yeah, and we spoke about it earlier. In Floral Park, they had their defense out on the field a lot, and they were getting a little tired. So they're not doing that today.
Cesario rolls this way. There's Jack Mullen. And meeting him, Theo Andrikopoulos.
Oh, Jack Mullen is down. Let's take a look at the replay right now. Cesario takes it, rolls out, finds the big tight end who just got back off injury and took a bad fall right here on the sideline, and he's grasping his knee, Dylan.
Yeah, concern certainly on that sideline. I thought initially it was more a shoulder the way that he went down. But yeah, Jack Mullen has had to fight his way back to get into this lineup, the Middlebury football commit. Now you hear the hush here on the sideline or in the crowd as Mullen gets attended to on the sideline.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, with the artificial turf, you could take a bad turn, twist an ankle, but he's grasping his knee right now. He's in a lot of pain.
So back to action, 3rd and 2 for Southside. And the Carey defense again comes up big. The run was by Patron, but gets hit for a loss of 2.
Yeah, Patron looking to make something happen, and that big defensive line from Carey is doing an unbelievable job. It looks like there's no one that can block them.
So a 4th and 4. Question here is, and I think the answer is yes, but will Southside have to run another play here? Right, it is 4th and 4. Again, you don't want to give Carey the ball, as you hear the crowd clapping because Jack Mullen has gotten to his feet on the Southside sideline. And essentially what Southside did there was utilize one of those timeouts, get the clock down as much as possible, and then call timeout with 19.7 seconds left. We take a look at our upcoming SPORTSCAST schedule. A couple of doozies, huh? Friday Night Lights, first from Berner Middle School. It is Oceanside and Massapequa, 2 of the 3 top teams in Nassau Conference 1. right there along with the Dalers of Farmingdale. That is a 6:30 kickoff, and then at 7 o'clock, it is Iona Prep and St. Anthony's, a rematch of last year's Catholic AAA championship game won by the Gales. And Iona Prep, led by Crew Davis, the North Carolina football commit, is the prohibitive favorite in the Catholic League this year. St. Anthony's, as we had last night on the Varsity Media Sports Network, a very tough loss at home to Monsignor Farrell, 21-20. So the road for the Friars does not get any easier in the unforgiving Catholic AAA division.
Some really good football, Dylan. Some really good football.
So here we go off of the timeout. Magarossi would appear like he's ready to punt, and Mike Stanley said, you know what, I've got 3 timeouts of my own. I'm going to use one myself, and we'll take that with him as well. 19.7 seconds left, first half. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
And back here in Rockville Center, final 19.7 seconds of the first half. It's been an entertaining one, and Carey kind of starting with that safety by Anaya has shifted momentum their way, and they've got that 16-7 lead now. Southside will look to go for it. At least they'll show. I think this is more of the cadence, right, Franco, and trying to draw Carey offside, and then Southside will use their final timeout of the first half. It's all part of the chess match, if you will. Gives us a chance to look at the upcoming schedule here for Southside. This is the second of 4 sportscasts on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You think it gets any easier? How about this road trip of Bethpage and Wantagh before you come back home on a Friday night against Floral Park before heading back out on the road against Valley Stream South?
Yeah, it's a tough schedule, Dylan. It's a good thing they didn't have to go to Bethpage this weekend with the Ryder Cup going there.
This is true. This is very true. But think about this too, right? Within, 3 weeks, you've got 2 reigning Long Island champions on your schedule, right? Carey and Wantagh. And Bethpage sandwiched right in between those 2. So now we'll show punt again. And a good one by Magarossi. Nobody is deep. And smart job to down it at the 1. So advantage Southside there. Good job by Patron to get there and put the ball down. And what this does too, Franco, is it forces Carey to make a play here. You can't just take a knee because you'll be in your own end zone.
I was just thinking that, yeah, this is an unbelievable punt. And the way they downed it right on, this is almost on the half-inch line. They have to run a play. They cannot take a knee, so.
Now if you're Southside, maybe you're like, hey, we can get those 2 points back here. So you've got to be clean, right, on the snap, and you've got to get out of your own end zone if you are Carey. Hickes just airs it out, and that's incomplete, but that stops the clock as well. Now the clock continued to go. And actually, they'll say that was the last play. I think there should have been some time left on that clock. And that's what the Southside players are saying as well. Now, will Bob Miller halt the proceedings? I thought there was at least a second or so left. And again, if you're Southside, you want to force them to make another play from the end zone, but that would appear like it is the final play of the first half. So the reigning champions, they have come to play. James McGrath, little jet sweep, breaking tackles, finding the end zone, as it is Carey going into the halftime break with a 16-7 lead here on homecoming in Rockville Center. We'll take a break, second half, when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And it's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
I'm back here at Southside High School after an extended halftime. It's Dylan Butler, Franco Biancamano, and the entire Varsity Media crew here in this Nassau Conference 3 showdown between Southside and Carey. And certainly, if you are the visitors from Franklin Square, a lot to like from that first half.
Yeah, Dylan, Carey is looking really, really good. A lot of momentum, a lot of great plays, and we spoke about it in the keys. Their special teams play has really put them in great position, and they're capitalizing on that.
Let's show you some of those first half highlights, and started early, right? First drive of the game, you see Justin DiPietro diving into the end zone for his touchdown, which gave Carey the 7-0 lead. But then a really good response from Southside.
Yeah, Magarazzi right here takes it, breaks a long run using his stiff arm and his speed, and gets in for the touchdown to tie up the game.
Yeah, 46-yard touchdown run there, but then here comes Christian Anaya, the disruptor for the safety. And then the jet sweep. Justin McGrath finds his way in after breaking a tackle into the end zone, and that is how the first half ended on the scoreboard, at least, with Carey riding a 14-game winning streak with that 16-7 lead.
Yeah, and Carey is taking that momentum right now. They have all the momentum on their side, and they get the ball at half. So they're looking to build on that, and Southside needs to establish what they're doing offensively and get back into this game.
Now, as we said, it was an extended halftime with homecoming festivities here. Does that play a role at all for either of these teams?
It does a little bit, because you want to get right back out there and start playing. So when you get a 30-minute halftime, you kind of, you got to get back out there and get warmed up, get loosened up a little bit. So it could play, or it could be an advantage to Southside.
And maybe taking some of that momentum away from Carey after a halftime that was, I think, nearly 25 minutes long. So as we said, both of these teams come in to this one 2-0. Carey with a week 1 win over Valley Stream South, 35-0, which on paper seemed pretty good, right? If you are Mike Stanley, but he said if you peel back that result a little more, we lose our starting quarterback. He's out indefinitely, and Mike Agostino, and then you lose Mark Vera, who's out indefinitely as well. You were also without Giancarlo Carbone, who has returned for Carey. So it was a little bit of a circle the wagons type of situation for the Seahawks in practice last week. Stanley, ahead of that week 2 game, said it was a good week of practice, and it showed in the field against the scrappy Floral Park team. So good week 2 for them as well. And Southside, it's been smooth sailing to this point. This is really their first true bit of adversity in this early portion of the season after comfortable wins over Clark and then on the road at Division.
Yeah, and this is their test today. Today was the big test for them, for Coach Ernesto, for this young team and a lot of these guys, and they need to step up right now in the second half. They still have another half to play.
But also, too, as Mike Stanley said, listen, if we're successful, all we did was win in week 3. If we lose, all we did was lose in week 3. It doesn't have a bearing, a large bearing on the rest of the season. But this could be, again, round 1 of 2, with round 2 potentially being played at Stewart Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University. So Lucas Papadopoulos to kick off. The return game has been impressive, especially number 1 for Carey, Jaden Radow. And as you said, let's not kick to Radow. Instead, it was a short one fielded by Hickes.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier, Dylan. I mean, this was a nice little pooch kick. They found a little open spot, and they said, you know what, let's let them start on their 30-yard line instead of our 30-yard line, and it worked.
Yeah, Radow, number 1 there, has been so explosive as advertised. And there you see also in your screen, Russ Sellen, the former Freeport, right, the legendary coach, he is right there among the Mount Rushmore of coaches in Nassau County. Retired from Freeport. His son, an assistant coach here. Mike Stanley said, I would be foolish not to accept that phone call to get him to work with our O and D lines. Here is play number 1 of the second half. It is Hickes trying to bounce it to the outside. He gets a nice block out there. He ran, though, east-west, not north-south, so a gain of about 5 there on first down for the senior.
Yeah, the big 6'2" senior trying to take it himself right there, gain a few yards. But you were right, he was running east to west, not south to north.
Hickes a year ago was a starting wide receiver and outside linebacker. This year, he was going to be a wide receiver and a safety. There's that quick out to the far sideline as McGrath gets the first down for Carey. But again, opportunity knocked. We need somebody in at QB. And Hickes, the Hofstra baseball commit, obviously a good arm, right? As a guy who will be a Division I pitcher, and he has shown that thus far for the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job stepping in.
Draw up the middle, and there's DiPietro. I think Southside certainly game plan wise did a good job against Justin DiPietro, something that a lot of teams in this county can't say or will be unable to say this year.
Yeah, he's really an unbelievable, true young man, an unbelievable player, and you're going to continue to see him get the ball here.
2nd and 5. Hold the phone, says Bob Miller. So this should be against the offense here. Perhaps a false start. The venerable Bob Miller with the call, and it is indeed a false start against the Seahawks. Yeah, we think we're at a big game, and then we're not sure. Is this something important? And then you see Bob Miller walking out with his white hat. Okay, this is big time today.
Big time. You got the number 1, you got the preseason number 1 seed and the number 3 seed. It's a big time game in the SEC, like we say.
Yeah. I think Ernesto needs to brand that. 2nd and 10 from the Carey 42. There's that quick out again. Good pursuit by Jack Boyens making the tackle. Radow made the reception, and they'll get about 3 yards back, which will set up a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and they went right back to that wide receiver screen all the way on the outside, but like you said, Boyens did a really nice job seeing that play and stopping them.
Surprised we haven't really seen anything vertical down the field, stretching the defense a little bit out of Carey. We did see that out of Radow last week. And here is that option, right? Here is Hickes going deep, looking for Radow. What a catch under duress. Big play. Jaden delivers again.
And you called it. Let's take a look at this. It's like they pulled it right out of your head right there. Gets enough room to throw, gets some time, and Radow with the leaping grab for a first down.
That is something else because Magarasi was right underneath him, still makes the play. We go back to our bread and butter, that quick out. And you talk about quick outs, how about a quick touchdown? Big play, Jaden delivers again. This is a 32-yard score for Carey.
Unbelievable. Let's take a look at this. Dylan, this is incredible. They went right back to that wide receiver screen, throws it, and look at this unbelievable young man make this play right here. Finds the open room, sheds a tackle right there, and takes it in for the touchdown. He really is a big playmaker.
After this point we'll show you that touchdown again because I want to highlight a block up the field by Giancarlo Carbone, number 20, that helped free Radow. So here is Cooper attempting the PAT. McGrath, the holder, and it's blocked. So Carey has owned the special teams, but there's a big play by Southside as they leave a point on the board. But we'll take another look here at that touchdown. Watch number 20 in white. Right there, right? Just seals his guy off, Franco.
Yeah, that's a perfect stalk blocking technique right there. He did a great job. Carbone did an unbelievable, and that's because of Carbone that he scored right there.
Yeah, Giancarlo Carbone, number 20 for Carey. He touched the ball a lot last year, right? 57 carries for 384 yards and 6 touchdowns. It's nice to get him back, said Mike Stanley, right? Had an injury in the preseason, which kept him sidelined for the first 2 weeks of the regular season, but in week 3 and Carey's biggest game to date, great to have the senior Carbone back in there, healthy and ready to go. So Carey has extended their lead now, 22-7. And now you're a little bit, if you are a Southside, like in that red zone, in that danger zone, right? You can't afford too much more of a gap here. You've got to respond with points on the board on this drive.
Yeah, you have to. This is a very important drive for Southside. They need to respond, because what's going to happen is then they're going to start doing stuff that they don't want to do, and that's throwing the ball and putting a lot of pressure on the young quarterback.
So Cooper to kick off. You've got Vetter and Johnson deep for the Cyclones. I always feel bad because there's 2 Vetters and 2 Johnsons, so we need to explain that it is Brendan Vetter and Ethan Johnson who are deep. It is a short returnable kick, and Johnson will do so from about the 9. Tries to get out to the outside. Nice explosion from number 7. And Southside, they'll get their first drive of the third quarter started at about the 34-yard line.
Yeah, Dylan, I think you and I saw it before while they were warming up in pregame. We don't know yet, but I don't think their tight end, Jack Mullen, is coming back. And that's a big loss for them.
Yeah, made a reception, his first of the season, went down hard on the sideline. Did pop up and got a good amount of applause from the crowd here, but was on the trainer's table during a good chunk of that extended halftime. Handoff to Ethan Johnson. Breaks the first tackle. He gets pulled down at about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson right here on the right side, going behind Lampanello and Healy and getting some yards right there to get that drive started.
Ethan Johnson, the sophomore, 3-sport star, just a natural athlete, right? Basketball, he was the starting catcher for the Southside baseball team as a freshman. Was terrific on JV last year as the lead running back. And now it goes to Magarasi, and that play blown up big time.
Yeah, Sal D'Amato right there did an incredible job getting in there and making that tackle and blowing up that offensive line right now for Southside.
And I think Lamite as well was in there on the tackle. 6'1", 235-pound sophomore. So now a 3rd and 4 on a drive that you need to move the chains at the very minimum if you are Southside. Magarasi, the lone back. You've got trips right. Ball comes this way. The catch is made by McNulty, and a really important big grab by the senior.
Yeah, this was a nice call. You got trips to the left, rolls out. Let's take a look at the replay right here. Here we go. He rolls out and throws a nice catch. And McNulty does a great job getting upfield. That's a terrific catch.
Yeah, so big moving of the chains for Southside into Carey territory. Handoff, Ethan Johnson tries to push himself up the middle. I will tell you, Matt Lamite has been a problem for Carey up the middle.
And he's only a sophomore. He's doing an unbelievable job. 6'1", 235 pounds. What a tremendous athlete.
And he plays like he's like 6'6", 350, right? Like, yeah. He is just such a run-stopping plug up the middle.
Yeah, and Carey's very lucky. He's only a sophomore. I mean, he's just going to get better and better every year.
2-yard gain for Johnson on first down. Trips left again. Magarasi motions to the right, faked the handoff to throw to him. It went to Ethan Johnson, and it's Christian Castellar who makes the tackle for Carey.
Yeah, Southside right now is trying to spread the field a little bit, trips to the left, wide receiver up top. They tried to spread the field and run it with Ethan Johnson, but Castellar did a nice job right there reading the offense.
Let's see what Phil Inesto, the Southside coach, has dialed up here. Well, it's Andrew Kell who's the OC, but certainly Inesto a lot to say as well on what the play is. It's 3rd and 8 from the 46-yard line. Magarasi the lone back. This time trips are right. Cesario on shotgun. Carey again showing blitz. And what did we have here? I think there was some movement on the offense. And just even showing blitz right now, there's some tension on that offensive side of the ball, right?
Yeah, they sure are. Yeah, and Magarasi right here got called on the false start right there, and he wishes he could have that one back.
So now you go to the other side of the 50. What was already a long 3rd down is now even longer.
Well, Dylan, we've seen this today. Every time Southside starts to move the ball forward, they seem to be going backwards a little bit.
They've gotten big plays from Connor McNulty, number 1. Brendan Vetter, arguably your top receiver. Trips are right again. And Southside, they've got to burn a timeout here to discuss what play to run. We'll take that timeout with them as well. 5:39 left in this 3rd quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Back in Rockville Center. Dylan Butler, Franco Biancamano, and let's see what has been dialed up here for Southside.
Well, you said it, and we talked about it. This is a very important drive for Southside. They need to establish something here, and this is probably why Coach Ernesto took the timeout.
So it'll be a 3rd and 13 here for Southside. McNulty is your lone receiver at the bottom of your screen. Twin receivers at the top. Cesario rolls out to the right, finds an open receiver, but they will not get the first down. It was a good catch by number 13, Owen Marigliano, but well shy of that first down marker.
Yeah, he did a really nice job getting open. Again, they're trying to spread the field. Owen did a great job getting open. Just not enough. Let's take a look at the replay right here. Cesario gets out, throws it, does a nice job, and a nice stop by number 4.
Yeah, Will Cooper. How about that open field tackle?
Great. And he kicks the ball, too.
And he's relatively new, again, to football. Former soccer standout. Has turned out to be the best cover guy on the team. Really impressed in that Week 1 win. And again, because of the scoreboard, Southside, they'll at least show to go for it. 4th and 4. And they will. Cesario, quick out. Finds Morigliano for a first down and more. Touchdown, Southside. Just what they had dialed up.
Yes, sir. Let's take a look at this play right now. Here we go. Out of shotgun on 4th down and 4. Finds an open guy on a slant, and Morigliano takes it. Look at that speed and gets Southside back on the board and back in this game, Dylan.
43-yard touchdown reception for Owen Morigliano. It is Lucas Papadopoulos to kick. Will Hamill is your long snapper, and Jack Boyens to hold. The kick is up, and it is good. Really important 7 points there for Southside. They pull within a score. 4:23 left, third quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Back here at Southside, what a huge turn of events for the Cyclones. Owen Morigliano, the 43-yard touchdown reception, his second touchdown of the year. And by the way, you talk about big time coming into this game. 4 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. Here, he goes 43 yards to the house to cap the 8-play, 66-yard drive. And a big, big play out of right there, number 13, Owen Morigliano.
Yeah, and for the quarterback, Cesario, right now, that's got to build a little bit of confidence going into the fourth quarter.
And that was on 4th down as well. So this is when we talked about it and the deficit, that's what we said they needed to do. So they answer the bell now, Southside. They need to stop. They need to make sure that Carey doesn't get anything out of the return. And again, it is Hickes, not Radow, for the short return.
Yeah, and that's a really good adjustment that Southside has made on that to kick it away from the big playmaker.
So Carey will start from their own 31-yard line. The Seahawks with a 22-14 lead. Student section here in Southside, getting the chance of defense going. There's the handoff and the stop. TFL for Ethan Johnson.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Let's look at this replay again. They're trying to get Justin DiPietro the ball, establish his run game, but Johnson does an unbelievable tackle and stops him for a loss.
They give some credit too to number 14, Colin Kenny, as it was a loss of 1 for Justin DiPietro, one of the top running backs in Nassau County. Hickes, time goes to the far sideline. That is caught. Turn inside the field. Big reception for James McGrath.
Yeah, Carey is looking to that side, and Tristan Hickes does a great job finding McGrath right there open, and then McGrath does a great play to get the first down. Really makes a nice move.
After week 1 and the injuries that Carey had, it was McGrath as a senior, as there he is rushing the football up the middle it was McGrath who was that leader, that calming influence, which was huge, Mike Stanley said, going into that Floral Park game.
Yeah, and he's really stepped it up and done a nice job.
So a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6 from the 49-yard line. Avila in now, dual backs. He'll get the carry. Avila bounces to the outside, and he will move the chains. He got enough of that forward momentum to get ahead of that marker. And Avila, he's been that Robin to DiPietro's Batman. Saw more of him last week against Floral Park, but you could see there, not quite the size as DiPietro, but still really tough runner.
Yeah, he's got some really good, he's got some wheels on him, and he showed it right there by moving the chains, getting out there on the sweep, and doing a nice job getting a first down.
1st and 10 for Carey from the 45-yard line. Here comes Avila running behind DiPietro. And that's the other great thing about Justin DiPietro, right? You would think a star back would be like, no, I'm not going to, I'm not a blocking guy. But again, right, middle linebacker, loves the physicality. He is fine with blocking for Avila.
Of course, and that's what leaders do. Leaders step up and do things like that for their team.
Here's Avila again, bounces to the outside, gets the first down and more. So this is a series where we're seeing a lot of number 21.
And you said it, DiPietro put a block on that play right there to spring him free, and they just said, why don't we just keep running it to that side until they stop us?
My money is going back to 2-1 again here. Instead they go to 6. DiPietro keeps those legs churning. Finally pulled down at about the 21-yard line. For those young football players watching, that is what you need to do as a running back, right, Franco? Keep those legs moving.
Yeah, and he sure does. And he's running behind a pretty big offensive line right there with Stephen Klein right there at right guard.
Hickus tried to draw Southside offside inside the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Here's the handoff. DiPietro. I am more and more impressed every time I see Papadopoulos lay a hit.
On the right side of the line,
Big hit by number 9, again limiting DiPietro.
Yeah, and from the booth, it almost looked like he was going to break it, and then Papadopoulos steps in there and makes a really nice tackle. He's doing a great job. He's making a lot of tackles today.
We don't have vantage point of a play clock, so looks like Carey will have to get one off here. Final seconds of quarter number 3, or will they? Hickus checks the wrist for the play. Hands off DiPietro. Looks to go the same way, and it's the same result. It started with Papadopoulos getting him down low. Then his boys joined in. Jack Shallis, 55, among the crew, tackling, but it was enough to move the chains for Carey as they are in the red zone at the end of this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, DiPietro put his head down. Papadopoulos was right there to stop it. Just not enough.
Well, we said Southside needed to get a response to get back in the game. Well, they dialed up number 1-3. How about Owen Marigliano and the sophomore Cesario on 4th down? And that 43-yard touchdown has made this one a 1-score game heading into quarter number 4, which comes up when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What's up, it's Sean Lights Out Merriman, former Charger and Bill, and you're watching Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, The long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Big crowd on hand here at Southside High School. It is homecoming. And they're hoping that their Cyclones rally here in the fourth quarter. Carey, though, red zone, 1st and 10 from the 16. A little hesitation. Flag is thrown, though, as DiPietro bounces it outside. This one will come back. It'll be a holding penalty against Carey.
Yeah, this is a big drive. This is a big stop for Southside. They need a big stop here. They have to limit Carey from putting points on the board right now.
I think that was against right guard Stephen Klein. So again, in high school, that's a spot foul. And it happened in the backfield, so they will march off. This will be a big penalty, Franco. This is akin almost to like a personal foul, right? Like, you can see they're starting back now at the 26-yard line. Hickes sidearms it to Radow. Big play. Jaden breaks a tackle, continues to march forward.
This young man is a playmaker. Let's take a look at this. Right back, one step to that wide receiver right there, a quick screen, and this young man makes it happen right here. Look at Radow right there. Moves after moves, almost getting the first down, putting them in a position.
DiPietro powers forward, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. 10-yard touchdown run for Justin DiPietro.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay right now. DiPietro getting that ball, running right behind his offensive line, Mantone, Klein, and getting into the end zone. Anaya, and getting in for his second score of the day.
Yeah, both in this end zone. The first was in that first quarter, first drive, a 9-yard touchdown. This one, a 10-yard score for Carey. The PAT is up, and it is good. So that's exactly what you wanted if you are a Carey, right? You respond to a big emotional touchdown by Owen Merigliano, and you hand it to your horse, and Justin DiPietro powers his way into the end zone.
Yeah, and that's a good answer right there from Carey, coming back and putting it into the end zone.
Another look. Just will, determination, right? He was not going to be denied, Franco.
No, and he reached right there, final step. That is what a leader does, and reaches in for the end zone.
And that's also why that was discussed momentarily, right? Whether his knee was down, whether he crossed the plane, and the official is making the right call there on the touchdown. So back and forth we go. Now the onus is on Southside to respond to this, to keep themselves in this game.
Yeah, and what Southside can do is they have big playmakers, like you saw before with that quick touchdown strike. They can do that. They can make big plays, and they're going to need to do that.
Southside entering this game had only given up a total of 28 points. So Carey already eclipsing that through a little more than 3 quarters, but of course a big jump up in competition for the Cyclones today with the defending Long Island champions who have a 14-game winning streak. Cooper, strong kick. It will be fielded by Magarossi at about the 5-yard line. Tries to pump the brakes and find an additional hole, but there's James McGrath again. He is popping up everywhere, number 16 in white.
Well, it's funny you and I spoke about it in the first half. Anaya with the highlight reel, almost making that tackle, getting down there very quickly and almost making another highlight reel for himself.
So it's 1st and 10 for Southside from their own 28-yard line. They don't need to get the points back right away, but they do need to score on this drive. And that ball is on the turf, and Carey's got it. Who else but number 6, Justin DiPietro. And that looked like it was right off of the snap, Franco.
Yeah, it looks like there was a little miscommunication and a little between Lamparello and Cesario. Yep. Never had it in his hand. Never had a chance.
I was about to say never had a chance because 6 was hunting for that football. Huge play in this one. And what an opportunity now, Franco, Carey has to kind of put that nail in the coffin. And if I'm not the OC. I did have a good play call before. I go Radow end zone right away against the wounded animal to put this one away. Radow right now, top of your screen.
That is a good call.
You have your twin backs, though, so we will go to 6. DiPietro tries to angle his run to the outside. That is a good-looking tackle by Papadopoulos. Although now he's feeling it. And again, this is a guy you can ill afford to lose because he is an elite kicker and punter, Franco.
Yeah, you can't lose him right now, and he's really making a lot of plays on defense and special teams, making a lot of tackles.
You see the huddle there for Carey with Russellin in the middle of it. We take a look at Carey's upcoming schedule for the Seahawks. They'll head to Valley Stream North, and they'll be home for Elmont. They take on a Clark team that we saw in week 1, and then a really big one, on October 25th, 11 a.m. against Wantagh, the rarest of rare battle of 2 reigning Long Island champions.
That's going to be a big game.
So Papadopoulos is up, which is a great sign.
That's number 9, Lucas Papadopoulos, leaving the field on his own.
Yeah, it looks like he caught a little bit of a stinger on his shoulder. It's pretty tough to tackle DiPietro. He is a hard-running running back.
And he is all of 6'1", 225.
Yeah.
I will tell you that. I think you were, like you said, you were worried. You saw him running out. You thought you make sure you're out of the way there. Coming out for pregame. Handoff. There's the shiftiness from Avila. Avoids the first tackle, but then Ethan Johnson gets him down.
Yeah, they're trying to kill the clock right now, and they're doing a good job of it.
Ethan Johnson on the stop for the Big Red defense. They're down at 8. Make some noise from your
So it'll be a 3rd and 8. Hickus looks towards Radow. Sends it in his vicinity. Jump ball. Interception! Up the far sideline. And what a big play by Vetter. Franco, essentially a jump ball.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Vetter did a great job. Here we go, throwing the ball deep, trying to make a play with Radow, throws it up too high, and Vetter does a great job getting there and taking it.
There was a penalty flag after the returns. Let's see what Bob Miller has here. Block in the back for Southside. So this will negate a lot of that return for Vetter. But the Southside offense does step on the field after Vetter makes a big defensive play for the Cyclones.
And this is what they needed. You know, Carey was going for the nail in the coffin, and Southside said, nope, not yet. And they could do it, and they need 2 quick scores, though.
So they did go to Radow, but I thought they should have went first play, but. So here we go. Can Southside capitalize on that interception? They'll start this drive from their own 20-yard line after that block in the back penalty. Cesario at a shotgun. Hands off. Magarasi going nowhere. DiPietro with the TFL.
Yeah, he came right in there on a linebacker blitz. Saw, let's take a look at this. Saw Magarasi with the ball and came in. What a nice open field tackle right there. Look at that.
So 2nd and 12 for Southside. And time kind of quickly becoming a factor here in this one. Inside of 9 minutes remaining in regulation. Cesario now under center. And as they have, Carey shows blitz. And as they have, I think every single time they have, a flag is thrown.
Yeah, Carey does an incredible shift up here, trying to throw Southside off sides, and they do.
Yeah, give a lot of credit at Carey for Tom Aiello, their longtime defensive coordinator, also a terrific lacrosse coach as well. So now it's a 2nd and 17 for Southside from their own 12. But again, the Cyclones, they've got game breakers. And yes, plural, multiple. Here's Cesario. Comes this way. And that's a nice looking catch. And that goes to Jack Boyens, the senior.
Yeah, let's take a look. They're rolling out. They're trying to throw the ball right now. He throws it, gets it right over his head. It looks like Magarasi wanted to catch it, but Boyens does a nice job picking that up.
Now, as nice of a catch as that was, because of the penalty, you still need to get 9 yards to gain a first down for Southside. Cesario gets the call from his sideline in shotgun with Magarasi to his right hip. He'll go over the top. It's a race to the football. It was McNulty who was the intended target. Good job by Cooper. Again, top cover guy for Carey, making sure that wasn't a long reception.
Yeah, and Cooper did a really nice job here, putting his hands out to show that he had no pass interference and tendencies, and he did a nice job there.
So now 4th and 9 from the 22-yard line. The conversation, as we see it again at the very end of that play, the conversation right now along the sideline is with Magarasi. Now, again, he is your punter. But of course, he's also an elite running back as well.
Cyclone offense still on the field, 4th and 9.
So 4th and 9 here for Southside from their own 22. You would think, considering time and score, Franco, you've got to go for it here.
You've got to go for it, and I think they were going to try to draw them off sides, but this is a tough situation right now. You don't get this, you're going to give Carey a scoring position. You're going to put him in scoring position.
Well, that conversation with Magarossi first was, hey, let's try to do just that, right? Maybe a little bit of cadence, draw them offside. That didn't happen. So now you burn one of your timeouts, which we will take with them as well. 8:04 left in regulation time. It is Carey with a 29-14 lead. You're watching it here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Back at Southside High School, we approach the final 8 minutes here of this game. As it is a 4th and 9 from the Southside 22-yard line. Oh, and some movement. That came from the right side of the line. And you know who forced that, Franco? Anaya, the linebacker for Carey.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate mistake right there on a false start. Puts them even further back. Anaya's having an unbelievable game today.
And I don't know, I mean, I think at this point, I think I do maybe punt it away. And then you hope for something like you just got on the last drive in maybe a vet or INT or a fumble or some sort of a turnover.
I mean, you're only down 2 scores. You got to punt it away because if you don't, you're giving them an opportunity to just score and say, here you go. You punt it away and you have your defense stop them.
Well, here comes Cesario. Goes over the middle. What a grab! Magarossi! It keeps, Franco, Southside alive.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. They spread the field right here. Cesario sees him open. He puts his hand up. He's right there. Magarossi with a nice grab. Keeping Southside alive right now.
His 2nd reception of the season, and clearly the biggest. It injects even additional life now into these Cyclones. McNulty at the top of your screen. Twin receivers at the bottom. The handoff goes to Johnson. Stiff arm. He gets right by Anaya, who is an excellent tackler, and gets just to the other side of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson does a nice job there using those big legs to drive and gain some yards.
So a 2nd and 1 for Southside, but that clock, though, Franco, does continue to run down. Another handoff, Johnson. He'll get the first down, and the clock will stop to move the chains, but it's a temporary stop of the clock.
Yeah, they need to really start to move the ball, because even though it's 6 minutes and 44 seconds left, that clock's going to run down, and it's going to go quick.
Southside does have 2 timeouts remaining, as does Carey. Cesario, quick out. That's a nice catch, but staying inbounds was Colin Kenny.
Yeah, Colin Kenny does a nice job here. Carey did another shift looking for an all-out blitz, and the young quarterback, Cesario, does a nice job getting it out.
Now trips left on a 2nd and 4. for Southside. Cesario rolls to his left. Has a receiver in Vetter, and Vetter gets himself out of bounds. A big play by Brendan Vetter, the captain and 3-year starter.
And there he is, Brendan Vetter. Let's take a look at the replay right now. Cesario rolls out to his left, throws a nice ball, and Vetter right there with a nice grab, moving the chains, keeping Southside in this game and making it exciting.
Yeah, red zone time now for the Cyclones. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. And because Vetter did get out of bounds, the clock stops at 5:53. Magarasi, the lone back. Hand off his way. Avoids the first tackler, carries one a few yards. As some physical running by A.J. Magarasi.
Yeah, he's doing some running now, but in Southside, you can see Southside is in a hurry-up offense, and they're getting ready for this.
2nd and 5. The clock does continue to go. I thought I saw an assistant try to call a timeout, or at least think about it, but Cyclones went into the huddle. Some shifting defensively here. Cesario looks end zone, just throws it out of bounds. It was Anaya who was in his kitchen again.
Anaya is a big force today.
So at least that stops the clock for Southside, 5:06, but now you've got a 3rd and 5. And again, you can get a first down for Southside. Ball is on the 9. Cesario rolls right, throws, that is caught. Kenny inside the 5. That should be good enough for a first down, and it is.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay. He rolls out to his right and finds a terrific play by Owen. What an unbelievable play right there to move the chains.
And what Colin Kenny did there too was he caught the ball and then he continued to turn to get to the end zone. Ethan Johnson turns and he is stopped shy of the end zone. But again, the clock, although, sorry, the flag is on the play, so that does stop the clock. Let's see what Bob Miller has here. False start on the offense. Devastating.
On the Cyclones, that is a 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
So 4:28 remaining.
First down and goal from the 10-yard line.
First and goal inside the 10.
Cyclones looking for a much-needed score, trailing 29-14.
Magarasi right now lined up behind Cesario. A little bit to his left now. Faked handoff. Look out, Cesario fumbles the football. It is still loose, and Anaya's got it. And he's got room to run. Christian Anaya, touchdown, Carey. Game, set, match. Seahawks.
Yes, and the young quarterback right now, Cesario trying to make something happen here, and Anaya adding to his highlight reel. Look at this right here. He took a big hit by DiPietro, and then it's a scramble for the ball, and look who's there, Anaya, making another highlight reel for himself.
69 yards to the house for Christian Anaya.
Yeah, and we have to talk about DiPietro with that big hit. I mean, he really put a hit on the quarterback right there to cause that.
And a flag is thrown. Maybe some frustration here for Southside. I think that's what Bob Miller is saying to Phil Ernesto. Maybe some words, right, from some frustrated Cyclones.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you get frustrated like that. You know, you start to, and I think the referees are doing a really nice job. The officiating crew is doing a great job trying to keep that under, keep it calm.
So does Michael Lombardi to kick. And that one is no good. But Carey has essentially put the hay in the barn, 35-14. If we could take a look again at that sequence with DiPietro forcing the fumble, and then Anaya, you call to it. And there's that hit that you mentioned.
Yeah, and Cesario didn't even see him coming. He just turned around, tried to get the ball off, and DiPietro with that shifting on that D line. That's an incredible hit. Big time hit right there by DiPietro.
And then again, it's Anaya, right? His partner in crime who gets the touchdown and one that will seal this one. What a big play there for the Seahawks. A look at their sideline. They will improve their winning streak now to 15 in a row.
That's a great win streak. 15 in a row. Incredible.
.338 remaining in this one. And I think, too, even though there's maybe some guys who have newer roles, Franco, and I feel like what we're seeing out of Carey is that championship pedigree, right? Knowing, hey, listen, Southside is coming at us, but no panic. We've got game changers, and they showed it there defensively. It seemed like every time Southside challenged them, they answered the bell right back.
They did, and that goes back to what you said about the pedigree and the football history. They won the championship last year, and a lot of these guys were on that team, and they know what it takes to win, and that's what they did.
That kick out of bounds, so that draws the penalty. And I hate to make the cross-sport analogy, but we are in a weekend of the Ryder Cup being at Bethpage, and it is akin to what we're seeing with Team Europe, where anytime Team USA gets a big shot off the tee or they get it on the green, the crowd goes crazy and it's wild and they're putting pressure on Team Europe. But those guys, just ice water in their veins, they then make a big shot. They respond to that pressure with Rory McIlroy and those guys leading the way. Same here with Justin DiPietro and the Seahawks of Carey High School.
Exactly. Well said, Dylan. Exactly. It's an incredible, and we said it was going to be a phenomenal game, but some of those key moments came out. Special teams, pinning them deep, safety. A lot of things came out that Carey did well today.
We've not seen every team, Franco, in Nassau Conference 3 just yet. But you would say, certainly from the small sample size that we've seen, Carey living up to their preseason #1 seeding. Quick out there to McNulty.
Yeah, and you're right. It's a reason why they're seeded #1, and they're showing it today. They're showing it today.
And that Wantagh is right up there as well as a team to look out for. Bethpage is always a dangerous team, but Carey showing in the early portions of the season through 3 weeks to be as good as advertised. 2nd and 9 here for Southside. And it's Magarasi coming this way. Tackle applied by Baez, Aiden Baez.
Yeah, and Carey is now putting in some of their second team in and trying to rest some of those starters right now for next week.
And if this was an early litmus test, right, now work to do for Southside. They'll head back into the lab and look at some of their mistakes. And again, I think the plus is if you go glass half full, as we know Phil Onesto will, he'll probably at some point this week say to his guys, that's the best football team we're going to play this year. And here are the things we need to do if we get a chance to play them again to do better.
Yes, yeah. And, you know, they did also, as well as they played well, they just made a few mistakes that they're not used to making, and it showed today against a much tougher team.
And it's a Carey team that, right, they're a team that will capitalize on those opportunities.
Yes.
Maybe other teams on their schedule might not have that ability to do so, but Carey certainly does. It's a 4th and 4. And one thing is certain, the Southside is going to need to clean up the penalties.
Yeah, and we don't know.
And apologies, that one was against Carey.
Yeah, but penalty yards are gonna hurt you in a tight game like this one. Well, in the beginning.
Well, even in the second half, it was a one-score game, right, after that Merigliano touchdown. But again, it's that bend but don't break. Carey responding to some adversity. And they've had it in multiple ways this year. Cesario, the out, finds Merigliano, as we just detailed. He'll get the first down. But the adversity started early in week 1, that 35-0 win when you lose 2 of your starters, including your quarterback, indefinitely, right? And then you also were down a 3rd starter in Carbone. But they weathered that storm, and now on the field they had a challenge from Southside, who early in this game gave them their first deficit, or Southside had their first deficit of the year, but they responded the way that championship teams do, that is Patron with the carry.
They responded and they showed resiliency. I mean, you know, you go down, you lose your starting quarterback in week 1, and you kind of say, well, who's going to step up right now and who's going to lead this team? And Tristan did. He came in, he stepped in, and he's doing a really, really nice job right there, taking this team to 15 straight wins.
Inside the final minute now of this one. Anything Southside gets here, largely cosmetic. This game is, in essence, over, as that is Patron with the run. And now you could hear the coaching staff on the Southside sideline saying, hey, guys, let's line up. As it is Carey impressing Franco in all 3 phases of this one to come away with a 35-14 win.
Yeah, this was a good game. This was a great game against 2 undefeated teams, and Carey comes up on top today.
So Southside, they suffer their first defeat of this young season. They are 2-1 now on the year. Carey is 3-0. And again, maybe, right, potentially, we could see these 2 teams again at Hofstra this year.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Coach Onesto is going to tell his guys, hey, listen, we 1 loss. Let's play out the season, and we could possibly see these guys again in the playoffs.
So congratulations to Carey and their head coach, Mike Stanley, on a big road win here this afternoon in Rockville Center. Well, this one started with all kinds of pomp and circumstance. The Cyclones making their way onto the field. And Carey, we know those guys are all business. They rode Justin DiPietro for the first of his 2 touchdowns. That set the tone. But AJ Magarasi also showing his pedigree. But then ultimately, it was Justin DiPietro on the defensive side. And there is Christian Anaya, 69 yards to the house. And it is Carey celebrating a win here on Southside's homecoming, 35-14. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Chris Sweeney, for Ron Pierre, Jeff Damo, bringing you all those moving images. For Franco Biancamano, I'm Dylan Butler. Thanking you for joining us from Southside High School. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.